Hello fellow YouTubers, today's Thursday, September 27, and it's quite a nice day. It's not as clear of sky as it was earlier, but it's a nice enough sort of day. It's very warm in the sun, but it's nice and cool in the shade. And I've just finished line trimming in the backyard, the whole grass, instead of running the mower over it. And actually I could probably run the mower over it because I've got a new medication to tell you about. I went to my doctor's today, but I will fill you in with all that a little later on. Yes, it doesn't look too bad once the line trimmer runs over it. And, you know, till there, I've got it out here and I've refilled the tank because I feel like actually doing the front and the blowers there, of course. But yes, it looks pretty good. Bit of grass lying around, but you could probably rake that up quicker than you could run the mower over it. But anyhow, we'll see how we go. Quite a nice day. Yes. The only reason I had to stop, well, the last time I did the line trimming in the backyard, I had to stop a few times. The only reason I had to stop this time was because I had to move the table and chairs over there a bit, so I could do the grass there, and move the trestle here, the table, over this side, after I'd done this side, so I could do this side. Smile away. You're nut. It's getting on to 5 to 5, and I not long finished doing the front yard, just with the line trimmer. I didn't get the mower over, I just line trimmed it all. And I got a section of the front common ground on the street done as well, but I decided then to call it quits. But yes, this now what I was saying before is that this is the new medication that my doctor put me on today when I kept my appointment with him. It's Teleggi Ellipta. You think I would have remembered that, wouldn't you? Yeah, Teleggi Ellipta. There's a photograph here, so you can check that out, will you? And this is a trial, a sample, and there's 14 doses. You take 2 a day, and I will see him again next Thursday, and I will give him my report. Early signs are that it's working. Now, as I said before, I had to take 3 different breaks to catch my breath the last time I line trimmed the backyard, which was only about 10 days ago, if that. But this time I didn't have to stop at all except to move the table and chairs and the workbench over the other side. And I didn't have to stop out the front either. So, yeah, it may be working, or I may be just having a really good day. Yeah, we have these real good days sometimes, don't we, fellow COPD sufferers? We do. Now, I've got the research here that I've done. This became available on April 24 of this year, 2018, and it's new research on triple therapy advance, which is now on the PBS listing here in Australia with the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme. In one of the biggest ever studies conducted in patients with moderate to severe COPD with a history of exacerbation, GSK's triple combination Teleggi Ellipta, or Teleggi Ellipta, has proved to be a winner. It's been proved to be superior to the company's Anora Ellipta and the Brio Ellipta. Now, the Brio Ellipta I know, I did use that many years ago, but my emphysema would have been milder then. But anyhow, this contains fluticasone fureate. Yeah, they're a bit tongue twisters. Umecyl indinium, UMECLIDINIUM, if it's any value to it, and bilanterol. So it's got 3 different medications in it. So I don't have to use my Ultibro, and I don't have to use my Pulmicort. I just use this medication once in the morning and once at night. So there you have it. So this stuff seems to be they've tested pretty well. So for the company, for the actual company, drug company, to actually say that it's working better than two of their others and could replace them, that's something in itself, because yeah, they make big money out of having many different sorts of medications instead of just one for the same thing, treatment of the same thing. So yes, so anyhow, maybe drug companies have got souls after all. I know I'm being a bit sarcastic there, but yeah, it just seems that way sometimes, doesn't it? When you see medications, that new medications that come out for particular diseases costing $100,000 a month, and you think, what? Why not just sell it for $10 a month and sell hundreds of millions of it, and rather than $100,000 and only having a few people who could use it? It doesn't make sense to me, but that's what they do, don't they? Until it comes over here to Australia on the PBS, which is the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme. But I told you that before. I hope you were listening. And yeah, so it only happened recently, but I don't remember what it was. There were a few patients who were able to pay I don't know, it was $20,000 or $30,000 a month for this medication. And as soon as it came on the PBS, it dropped down dramatically to something like, if your pension is $6.50 or $6.40. And if you weren't, it was something like $36. Big difference, isn't it? That's what the government funds. Or the taxpayer. It's all about the taxpayer. So anyhow, yes. So that's that. Now, those three different ingredients or the medications that are in the one of that Ellipta, they're not what I have in my Ultibro. Now, Ultibro's got and more tongue twisters. Indaceterol and glycopyronum. And the Pulmicort, no, the Pulmicort, I don't think it's got on what it is, but I know it's not one of those. I'm sure it's not. And oh, and it's Google's 20th birthday. Happy birthday, Google. And thank you for giving me the world at the click of a mouse. Thank you very much. I did my research too with thanks to Google, which makes it so easy. And it said that one of the severe side effects is that it may induce the common cold. I hope that doesn't happen, because I said to my friend Fred over in the United Kingdom that I can't remember the last time I had a cold. It's been decades. And he said, why is that so? And I said that maybe it's because of the medication I've been having for my emphysema, but don't quote me on it. And that may very well be the case. I haven't had a cold, touch wood, grab hold. No, for a long time. Maybe I've grown out of them. I don't know. I don't know, Fred. But I'm just putting it down to the medications. Before it was the Ellipta, the Brio Ellipta, and then the Asmol, and then the salbutamol on the nebulizer, and the Ultrabro, and the Pulmicort, and all these sort of things. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. But yes, I hope that doesn't happen. Although something that did happen when I was line trimming out the front was I had a sort of a leg cramp in the right leg. Not just in one spot, right down the whole leg. It just felt funny. I don't know if that is a side effect of the medication. I don't remember, so I'll have to check it out again. Should have printed it out, I suppose. What can I say? Well, I finished off with, and if he didn't do that, he'd never hear the end of it. But of course, getting the stain out of the cup because he spilled his tea. For several minutes, Jeremy sat so, wiping his damp eyes with the back of both hands, once, twice, 3 times, the mouth of the mug tapping his left cheek, his aching tongue searching for the piece of broken tooth, finding it, then working it forward and then spitting it and a spatter of blood onto the palm of his right hand, looking at it and shaking his head on this Murphy's morning of just another day. He lowered and placed the mug on the floor onto the floor, then picked up the tooth fragment between the thumb and forefinger of his left hand, kneading and feeling and thinking, now I'll have to have the damn thing pulled. And the dentist will poke and prod and tell me I need a lot of work done on my teeth. And how long has it been since my last visit? Goddamn patronising bastard. Well, it's not aching, and I don't have a rotten taste in my mouth. And so unless it does, and I won't bother. Have you been there and done that? He placed the tooth fragment into his shirt pocket, picked up the mug, eased himself upright using only the power of his legs. He liked to do that. Made him feel good that he was still able to do so. I can do that. I'm not bragging. Gathered the plate, then made his way to the kitchen. Placing the mug and plate into the sink, he busied himself preparing those and the others for the task of washing up, then setting them down neatly stacked on the breakfast bar when he was finished. Then said, now, what do I need to clean that carpet? Jeremy often talked out loud when he was alone. I do it all the time. Knowing that the sound of his voice helped him to organise and remember, as opposed to thinking and forgetting. He also talked to himself. He had done so since he was a kid, dismissing the often warning from his parents and others that to do so was the first sign of madness. Let's see, he said, opening the cupboard door below the sink and bending to search through the plethora of plastic bottles that seemed to cover the entire range of products that were needed for all cleaning tasks in and about the home. Aha! Carpet cleaner! He picked the bottle up and shook it. Not much in it, but maybe enough. He placed the bottle onto the kitchen floor behind him, then rummaged through the plastic basket of cleaning rags, selected half a dozen squares of old toweling that he knew would be ideal for soaking up the liquid, and wouldn't tear to shreds with the vigorous rubbing he expected to subject them to. With the cupboard door closed, the rags in one hand and the carpet cleaner in the other, he went to the lounge room and placed the items onto the floor near the stain. Then just as he was about to kneel, he realised he'd forgotten something. Water. I need a container of water. There was an empty 4-litre ice cream container in the laundry. But then he remembered he had his boxer shorts soaking in it. I'll get the bucket from under the backyard tap and I can check the rain gauge while I'm at it. Jim had been keeping daily records of the local rainfall ever since his dearly beloved gave him the rain gauge for a Christmas present 4 years previous. He wasn't particularly interested in the weather. Passé. The barometric pressure, temperature and humidity. After all, he could get all that information on the nightly weather report. But he did like monitoring and recording the rainfall. It was something that just appealed to him. When he stepped through the rear door of the house onto the covered patio, he could just hear the rain impacting on the aluminium roof. A pleasant sound that he planned to enjoy was sitting under that roof, when he had his second mug of tea shortly. It was cold, but he didn't mind the cold. Even more so now that he could sleep in. And besides, it was easier to get warm in winter than it was to get cool during the oppressive heat of summer. Even if you were cold watching television during all you had to do was slip on a pair of socks and drop a blanket over your legs. But there was no way you could do something that simple to get cool. Some would say it was only a matter of turning on the air conditioning. But with the skyrocketing price of electricity, many people, Jeremy and his wife included, are opting not to do that these days. Yes, electricity prices here in Oz are outrageous. They really are. Instead, Jeremy had fitted security grills to insect screens on all the windows, enabling the house to be left wide open and allow the air to circulate day and night. And what a difference that had made. And for those nights that were oh so hot and sticky, they would switch on the ceiling fan. And at a couple of cents an hour, he didn't have money nightmares like he did when the air conditioner was running. When Jeremy inspected the bucket, he found half filled with water and chock-a-block full of cuttings. But of course it would be. Doreen was a keen gardener, even though it was Jeremy who tended to weed and water. Another reason why he liked the rain. And she was always taking snips of this, that, and the other, with every intention of propagating or keeping the cuttings alive until she planted out. But more often than not, she would forget about them, even though she would deny that and say she hadn't had the time. But for whatever reason, she ended up throwing them into the green waste bin because they had rotted. Jeremy could tell by the stench of the water that assailed his nasal cavities that these had rotted too. But there was no way he'd discard them. No way in the world, because he damn well knew that if he did, there was every chance that this would be the one lot she did remember or had time come the weekend to plant. And when she found the mission, she'd carry on like you wouldn't believe. So Jeremy placed a stinking mess of tendrils onto the concrete and poured a pitcher of water down the drain. He refilled the bucket until the water was just above the black water mark and let it soak until he returned from checking the rain gauge, knowing he would have to scrub it out with disinfectant before anything else. He didn't expect anything less from this morning of just another day. The rain was heavier as he stepped out from under the awning, but of course it would be. When the forces of the universe conspired against you, everything went wrong. Matter of fact, Jeremy wouldn't have been surprised if the earth had suddenly opened up and swallowed him. And he probably enjoyed a distraction. The rain gauge was slotted into a bracket mounted high in the corner of a galvanised garden shed, some 20 metres from the rear of the patio enclosure. So with the rain increasing with intensity every step it took him, with every step he took it seemed further. Every step he took it seemed further. Yes, a lot further. And he was now wishing he had taken the time to grab an umbrella, or at least something to cover his head. He was wearing an unbuttoned, loose-fitting wool cardigan, so he pulled it up and over his head, then made a dash for the gauge. Lifted it free of the mount and made a dash for his shed. Jeremy couldn't remember the last time he'd experienced such a downpour in this area. The far north coast, yes, but here, no. And he hoped the catchment area was receiving its fair share. Inside the shed, the sound of the rain was almost deafening. Cup your hands to your ears. As it bombarded the galvanised iron roof. And for the first time he could see and feel a fine mist permeating the ridge cap. Happens here. It wasn't something that concerned him, and there wasn't anything in the shed that could be compromised by the spatter. Just another one of those things like all the other things on this morning of just another day. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this the reading and all the information. And I want to thank you for watching, and I thank you for listening. And until next time, you know it's coming. You know what I'm going to say now. You know. Bye for now.